Welcome in. Week 15 is wrapping up tonight with 2 games, not 1, 2. Why do they keep doing this, Mike? I have no idea.
Especially on this playoff, there's so many games up in the air because
more football, more better. Everybody knows that.
I got more money for people, I guess.
100%.
Yeah.
Who didn't want to see the Desmond Ridder revenge game against the Falcons? Like we all predicted would happen at this point in time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You didn't have that circled on your calendar in the preseason?
Actually,
oh man, by week 15, Desmond Ridder is going to be the starter for the Raiders going against the Falcons.
Didn't even know if he was going to have a job.
I didn't even realize until you said it that it was a revenge game. So
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I don't understand this world. Just the one we're in, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got some rough news this week too. A lot of injuries
today. Finding out Montgomery is done. Talk about depressing.
They must practice too hard in Detroit or something. That's my theory. I feel like Dan Campbell runs some hard practices and
he's biting off kneecaps in practice, and
that's what it's just biting on kneecaps.
It's insane how many injuries they've had. Like, that's insane.
Yeah,
absolutely. The offense stayed intact until now, but that's tough.
It's had its bumps and bruises along the way. But all right. Nobody actually cares about that.
I know we don't do start sits on Mondays, but this is an interesting one. So he wants to know, do you stick with the Vikings kicker or go with Young Wei Koo? I love a good kicker question. You know me. I'm such a kicker guy.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Reichert, but I completely understand.
It's in Minnesota, right? Or is it in Chicago?
Yes.
It's in Minnesota.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
The tiebreaker would have been
they already played at Soldier Field.
Yeah. Tiebreaker
Soldier
would have
Field
been
was the coming back down 11 under a minute and then blowing it in overtime.
Yeah. The question is, can you pivot from Darnold? Well, no, never mind. No. I was going to say because he has Hawkinson.
You got to keep the stack, baby.
No. Yeah. Well, he's facing Hawkinson, so
yeah.
I was thinking the other way around for some reason. Like,
yeah, but then what are you going to do? Start Ritter? He's probably the only one available on waivers.
Yeah.
Cousins is available.
Is he?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure that's my choice.
All right.
For quarterback this week at 49.1%.
Wow. Okay. There's a reason he's available in 49.1% of leagues, though. All right, you go ahead.
So, well, we're into it. We're going with quarterbacks to start us off. Kirk Cousins, 49.1% rostered, gets to play a Giant. Any quarterback that has been somewhat decent in the past has put up 18-plus fantasy points. The low games coming from Cooper Rush and Derek Carr. Derek Carr, not so much surprising because what does he really have? And I'm pretty sure that was the game that Kamara put up like 38 points or something stupid. So, but on the same note, Cooper Rush, 7% rostered, plays the Buccaneers, QB 14 over the past 5 weeks, averaging 16.2 fantasy points. However, if you actually look at his points per game, he is quarterback 21. Unfortunately, he's just in that limbo, but feel like the Cowboys are going to be chasing points against the Bucs. A lot of opportunities to throw, and we've kind of seen that he can put up numbers. I've been relatively impressed with Cooper Rush and his now new concept of this offense with Dowdle and Lamb and how everybody seems to be working. And his complete disregard of Jake Ferguson moving forward has just been super impressive. But what you got, Mike?
No, Cooper Rush has looked good. It's really coming down. It's funny because I just a little tangent. My brother and we play in a dynasty league, and I was out of it. He needed a quarterback because he had like Lawrence and Dak, and I traded him Jameis because he needed a second quarterback to start because we were playing Superflex. And had he not made that trade, he would have started Mac Jones, and Jameis got negative points yesterday, and he probably would have won his matchup. But it just comes down to like these quarterbacks, you just never know if they don't run the ball. Like it really is like you got to play. We keep saying it, matchups matter. Like even with guys like these, besides the top, 10 guys or so, and half those guys are guys that can run, just play matchups. And so Cooper Rush is a great one. It sounds gross, but he probably has a good game against the Bucks. So I kind of took that same approach with my second guy. But first, Aaron Rodgers, 43%. Who would have known? It was Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers.
Garrett Wilson also chipping in.
Garrett Wilson.
He found the end zone.
Adams had 2 targets and no catches at halftime. I think it was 2 or 3 targets. It was 0 catches. He literally put up like a 10 catch, 2 touchdown, 200-yard performance and a half. It was amazing.
Well, he also should have had a third, but
yeah, it was insane. But Rodgers has been playing well. He looks healthier since their bye. I think he's like a top 5 quarterback, or over the last 4 weeks. I think he's like QB3 in total points. So he has 2 or more touchdowns in 3 of the last 4 games, and then basically averaging about 300 passing yards over the last 2 games. So, he has the weapons. This is what we expected kind of all year, and he plays the Rams, which could be a shootout. I mean, we've seen a shootout, and then we've seen a touchdown-less game in the last 2 weeks with the Rams, but non-divisional opponent, that could be more of a shootout. So I don't mind Aaron Rodgers this week. And then Bryce Young, this is for the championship week, if you're kind of looking ahead there, because he plays the Buccaneers in the championship. And last time he played the Bucs, he put up 23 points. So he's played better. I know he had a down game this last week, but against the Cowboys defense looks like it's with Michael Parsons. They're just different. So they're not the Bucs. The Bucs are still pretty bad, even though Herbert didn't look too great against them. Still think they're a team to target.
Yeah, the lack of run game for the Chargers has been a big point of contention here.
Yeah. It's funny because I think for fantasy, I think the first thing, we generally we don't want them to run the ball. We want them to pass. But you got to have some run game, or it just makes your offense bad. And that's what we're seeing with the Chargers, So lack of run game and lack of passing.
Of course, Herbert getting hurt again made him even more, less mobile. So he was struggling to move around and get away from those and potentially extend plays. So makes it difficult for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Steve, we miss anybody? Anybody want to throw in?
If you're desperate, Drake May. It's a divisional game, which are always weird. But, I mean, the last 2 weeks, Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff, monster numbers against a really beat-up Buffalo Bills secondary. I'm not saying that the Patriots will also put up 40 points. That feels highly unlikely. But he's been decent. He's right now QB 11 on the week. He was QB 10 the week before their bye. So he's been a startable level quarterback 2 games in a row. He's coming into his own, and they're going in that game against a beat-up Buffalo secondary. So not a bad option.
Yeah, we like Drake May. He was by the way, on pace for 700 rushing yards. I don't know, including this week now, might be a little bit lower because he only rushed for 14, but he did get a touchdown. But yeah, he can move for sure. So always like
definitely helping an offense. So
yeah. It was tough there for a while though, because he got a lot of those points late in that game. So because I actually started him on a team, so I was paying attention, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna lose, and then you look later at the end of the game, oh, he has 20 points. Okay, thank you.
Worked out.
Yep.
All right, out of quarterback into running back. Oh, Chris Moraga in up 28. Nice. Going against should I sub a Hawk for McCormick? Who has more upside, Hawkinson or Myers? Those are all those. What? So I'm guessing these are 2 different questions. So we're subbing out Hawk for McCormick. He's up 28. I'm probably going to go with McCormick and just take my points. However, if you're looking at upside, do you go Hawkinson or Myers?
I go Myers for upside still.
With Ritter?
Man, but it's not like Aiden. Look at Jacoby Myers' quarterbacks in his whole career. Aiden O'Connell, Minshew, Mac Jones. I think even Cam Newton was in there, busted up Cam Newton, and he's always been good. So six of Ritter's 18 passes went to Myers last week. So that's good to see. Yeah, I'd still go Myers. I'm torn with McCormick. Like PPR, I think I go Hawkinson just because I can see like a 15 for 80 for McCormick with like one or maybe two catches. Like you're hoping for two catches and then you're praying for a touchdown. Like I see 7 to 9 points without a touchdown, and I think no touchdown is likely. Like I lean no touchdown for him. So if it's half PPR, I'm fine with McCormick.
I'm going Hawk both ways. Like I know that Myers has the higher floor. If the question was who's the safer play, I would play Myers. But I mean, the Bears are atrocious against the tight end. They're atrocious in general right now. But they just gave up 150 yards to Kittle in basically the first half last week.
Yeah.
Like if we're looking for, Hawkinson certainly has a floor of a 0. He could goose egg it 100%. That weird stuff happens. The Bears held Justin Jefferson to 2 catches for 20 yards the last game for no reason whatsoever. But at the same time, you're asking for ceiling, and ceiling is Hawkinson has 3 touchdowns and 150 yards.
One of them though, he's up 28 and he's going against Addison and Mooney. So it's like you'd say it's pretty even there, right? Like those guys can pretty easily combine for 30. So then do you go?
That's what I'm saying.
McCormick?
30 or 5.
I'd rather take my points, man. I'd rather just get the points. That 7 to, and if you're hoping he falls in the end zone and gets you 14 or 13, and you're set. But Hawkinson, like you said, could get you 0, and if they put up 15 each, you just lost because you got a goose egg from Hawkinson. Or
yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
Those guys put up 35 to 40. Do we think those guys?
Atlanta's defense isn't great, but I don't know. McCormick's got a 3, an 8.5, and an 11.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you're swapping in McCormick, you're saying I'm good with the 9. So do you think that Addison and Mooney can outscore 37 is the question.
Definitely could.
It's so close, man. That's why I'm like, I want to play it safe and roll.
I mean, I'd rather take the Hawk.
I think so. I think I would go Hawkinson as well.
He's going to give you more than that 11.
And it is PPR, yeah. Yeah.
There's certainly more risk, but.
Sorry, I actually want to look at McCormick's numbers, so it's just.
And yes, go Patriots.
What, last week he had 15 carries for 78 yards.
Any catches?
He had 2 catches for 11 yards.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the week before that, 2 catches for 1 yard, 12 carries for 64 yards.
Basically, what he did last week is what I would expect from him. But if I'm starting him and he gives me, 80, 90 total yards with 2 catches, like I'm very happy, So, I think somewhere even maybe a little bit less.
If you're happy with the 8, if you think 36 points will do it, then McCormick is fine.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree with that. I do think Hawkinson has a pretty I don't see him putting up a goose egg. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're definitely agreeing. Hawkinson has more upside.
Better ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah. However, if you're just wanting points,
if you're real nervous, that's McCormick.
Yeah.
You probably have to already make that decision. That game's
starting right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, any case, out of that, we'll go to running backs. And I stole it because I had to. Craig Reynolds.
Sure.
0.2% rostered with Montgomery suffering an MCL injury and being officially done for the season. Reynolds gets to be in a role that he's likely splitting with Jahmyr Gibbs. We've seen Gibbs try and handle that role. It's not completely possible for him to stay healthy. And this is a team that is looking towards the playoffs. I would expect them to start easing back just a little bit. And so Reynolds gets a giant boost for me also helps that they get to face off against the Bears.
Yeah, and to add to that point, like I think the Lions are at a point where, like, if they are going to win the Super Bowl, it's going to be through their offense, and they need Jahmyr Gibbs. There's like no other options. They can't win with their defense. Like they need Jahmyr Gibbs, and they need everyone on there. They can't lose anyone else on their offense. Amon-Ra, Jahmyr Gibbs, Goff, the offensive line. So, like, I agree. I think they do work in either Craig Reynolds. And I'll throw in, they have a rookie, Sione Vaki, who, I think he's more of a special teams guy. I think they trust Craig Reynolds. He's been there a couple of years now. So I would lean Reynolds, but there's a
That's
chance.
why I led with Reynolds, because I figured, I'm like, if anybody's stepping into the role, it's a guy who's been there for a while, we've seen him play, he's decent. And if they get locked into whatever seed they're at, because I think they can still potentially move up, but
yeah.
Difficult road.
They cannot give Gibbs 20, 25 touches. Like, they just can't do that, like they're already in the playoffs, like you said.
Yeah.
A lot of options. I mean, Sincere McCormick, we were just talking about, still under just over 30%. I would definitely be picking him up. I think he's a good player for sure. And, I'm a little bit nervous starting him if you do need upside or whatever, but that could change after tonight. And he's a lock-in starter next week. That's definitely in the realm of possibility, that he just has 2 touchdowns and 100 total yards or something. Kendre Miller, we might finally get to see after almost 2 years of waiting. What's his face? I already forgot his name. The ex-coach that hated him is gone. Dennis Allen. He literally hated. Yeah. He just hated the guy. Like, the things he would say is like, man, he has something against him. But we might actually get to see Kendre Miller, who has talent for sure. And he had 9 for 46 this last week. So over 5 yards per carry. So looking pretty good there, and good chance Kamara misses time. I mean, they have nothing really to play for, although, are they eliminated? You would know that, Jason, off the top of your head. I don't think the Saints, they're not eliminated, right?
Not yet.
Okay. Because of the division.
They're flirting with it.
Yeah. So they essentially have nothing to play for, but let's see Kendre Miller a little bit. Jerome Ford, another one with Nick Chubb breaking his foot, should see some action. I don't necessarily think it's going to be all Jerome Ford. I think Dante Foreman's still on the team, so he's been a healthy and active recently, but they probably activate him, but Ford should still be good. Tajay Spears had a good game. Pollard's been beat up. So, if Pollard's going to miss, Spears is a must start. It's risky going to be starting him, because I think the game script just kind of fell into favor for Spears a little bit, and then Kamani Vidal kind of dominated playing time and snap share this last week. Again, that might have been game script related as well. Who knows? But would be nice to see Vidal, because they need to get something going on the ground. Like you said,
it's not the answer, bro.
Vidal,
yeah, not the answer we're looking for.
Probably not, but. It's you're right, but there's a lot of decent options out there for sure. If you need to start this week, I think all those guys that we mentioned, you could possibly start. Plus your handcuffs,
and we saw that this week specifically. Singletary again getting the goal line work for the Giants. Not that means a whole lot, but if he's scoring 6 points because he's touching the ball in the end zone, that helps. And then go and bring it up, because it's not a whole lot, but Justice Hill only needs 8 more catches to get $1 million bonus. So I bet you that's going to be one of the things that they try and do for him. So I don't know if that's happening this week, but I'm pretty sure his number is 50 that he has to get to for him to get an X amount. And Harbaugh is all over that with how much he loves Justice Hill. So.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. He's definitely going to be getting that. So I like that.
All right. So just things to keep in mind, because this is the time for bonuses. A lot of teams are going to try and hit those for their main stars. that's why we'll move. Well, I guess I should ask Steve. Did we miss anybody that you want to touch on, buddy?
Nope.
All right.
All right.
I didn't figure, but we covered all of the
You are good.
All right. But so wide receivers.
Oh, 3 minutes in, Reichert field goal.
Perfect.
There you
See,
go.
that's why we stick with it. You got
and
3
hopefully
there.
get a bonus. Well, let's hope he makes it first. But
You made it.
Oh,
okay, yeah. Hopefully you get a bonus too, because that's a 52-yarder. So if you get like the length bonuses,
what's that?
Right.
5 or 6 points then, depending on what your league you're in.
Your format.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good start. Okay. Any case, Jalen McMillan, 10.9% rostered. Bringing him up because he kind of is filling that other role. He's clearly become the wide receiver 2 for the team. And that in mind, don't get me wrong, they are also going to try to get Mike Evans his bonus because he's also really close. I think he's like 200 yards off right now. And so 2 games, plenty of time to do that. However, in order to keep him wide open, Jalen McMillan has to get the usage. And over the past 2 weeks, he's a wide receiver 9. He's averaging 20.2 fantasy points. And again, he is literally matching the routes and snaps with Evans almost pound for pound. And he saw 11 targets this week.
Mm-hmm.
So the other guy, again, bring him up because he's still not rostered high enough. Cedric Tillman, 37.4% rostered. They need him back. I think they realized it this past week. Unfortunately, it's too late. And so he is a clear 2 for that team. Nobody else stepped up. And once he's back, I would expect him to really take even more work off of Judy's shoulders and really eliminate everybody else behind him.
Does the QB question mark change that for you at all?
I really don't think that they are going to stick with DTR because I don't think they have a reason to. And Jameis is only on a 1-year contract, right? So they don't have anything with DTR, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Yeah.
Did actually say the name first, but I really don't think that they have anything with him, and they know that now after seeing the giant step backward that they took once they put him in, and everything just completely stopped. So I'm going to guess that they go back to Winston. We'll see, because Winston's still turning it over, but they're at least look good. And having a potential backup that can sling it like that and potentially replicate other offenses that score at a higher rate might be a good way of moving that. So,
okay,
those are my 2. Mike?
Yep. Romeo Dubs. I keep bringing him up.
All into the trap. Perfect.
Yeah. And it's the reason why I always bring him up, because if you're at the level where you're looking for someone off the waiver wire to start, there's not much better than Romeo Doubs, just because again he plays so many snaps for a good offense, and so you see what he can do. He can catch 2 touchdowns. That's always going to be possible for him. Like, is it going to happen every week? No, but again, like, you're taking a risk with a lot of these guys, and half the battle is, are they starting? So. Are they playing enough? And he is. So definitely someone I'd be targeting there. Jalen Coker's always interesting. I think he was injured, right, and just came back this last week and put up a solid game.
Well, and then Leggett also got injured, so
Mm-hmm.
now it's potentially seeing how serious that is. That helps Coker as well. So
yeah,
like that option.
Yeah, 87% of the snaps after being inactive for 3 games. We saw him before getting injured, 6'3", 8 targets, and then this comes back, he gets 6 targets, gets 4 for 110, so he might not be a bad option. Calvin Austin, if Pickens continues to be out, kind of seems like a guy potentially you want to target. It's like, again, more of a deeper league, but he had 5 targets, 5 catches, 65 yards. And MVS is another one that I'll throw out there. Had 7 targets, only caught 2 passes, but he did it for 60 yards. I think he's back-to-back weeks with 7 targets. Not much else. There's not a lot going on. If you just look at that Saints depth chart, it's pretty sad, actually. Like Dante Pettis and and a couple like undrafted rookie free agents in MVS. So it's pretty bad. But I think we're finally past Nick Westbrook-Akine though, right? Like no touchdowns the last 2 weeks. We're done.
Well, I don't know. They're also potentially looking at a quarterback change. So he might be on his way back. But we saw that it really, like, surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, focused on tight ends. So who knows? But if Levis isn't the one slinging it, you're probably okay moving on from Nick Westbrook-Akine. So sad. But all right, Steve, you got anybody?
No, but
No.
You guys know how I love random stats, and it's very early in the game. I understand, but this amuses me. The Bears' current leading receiver, DeAndre Swift, 10 yards receiving. Their current leading rusher, DJ Moore, 2 carries for 18 yards.
Jeez.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Everything's backwards in Chicago. Gotta love it.
You talk about that, but then the Bills game, literally all of the running backs were leading the stats.
Yep, and everything.
You had no.
I just found it amusing that DJ Moore's leading the team in rushing. It's like, oh, well, maybe Swift is just too hurt to be doing anything. Nope, he's leading the team in receiving. That makes sense.
I hate them so much.
Sense. But no,
we're gonna trick him. We're giving him all rope-a-dope.
I mean, I don't know if you're gonna allow. You know what? If you want to give me the soapbox, I'll take it. Rashad Bateman, my BFF, my man crush of many years. The roller coaster ride has been wild this season, but it's good to see him finally doing stuff. I enjoy it. It's not something you can trust every single week or play, but I'm just giving him a shout out on the show.
Hey, you could do worse. I mean, he's still like one of the best guys at creating separation. And so it still just blows me away that they don't use him more.
Yeah. And it could be worse. He could be not showing up to the facility and getting suspended and sent home, like some other Ravens wide receivers. So
did they trade it for?
Right.
Yeah. It was weird. Weird. Keon Coleman, by the way, speaking of traded wide receivers and teams, just over 50%. Yeah. Keon Coleman came in first game back, 63% of the snaps. So maybe something. He was pretty good before he got hurt.
Yeah, talk about things that are frustrating.
We talked about that as well. He took, somebody was asking if it was going to kill Amari Cooper having Keon Coleman back, and I said that it would kill Matt Collins. I didn't look at the actual numbers. How right was I on that? Was I way off?
I didn't look. I'm pretty sure that Cooper would still, his amount stayed the same. So I'm guessing that Hollins was the loser.
Cooper was just under 50%. So relatively the same.
Yeah, there we go. Mac Hollins, 0.7. 3 targets, 1 catch for 7 yards.
Still more than Cooper.
So yes, there we go.
So there's that.
Mark had nothing?
0 points, bro.
Wow, goose egg. Look at that. How many snaps? But he played 50% of the snaps?
46.
Just under. Yeah.
Okay.
Not even a target.
We knew he was going to be right around 50. I think what hurt him was the fact that they were basically owning that game the whole second half.
I know, but something. Give him something.
Right.
You traded for him. See if he can do something.
Oh, man. Ty Johnson, wide receiver 1.
Yeah. I was like, what the heck? Literally every running back on your team decides to score more points than the guy you traded for, who's a really good wide receiver 1 for you.
Yeah.
Not even playing 50% of snaps. Okay. I don't understand the Bills.
Yeah. Should we mention Ty Johnson as a pickup? I mean, geez.
I don't think I can. I don't feel comfortable suggesting that that's going to happen again. However, if they end up clinching a top spot, maybe. Because I don't think their seed could possibly change. Once they do that, he could be somebody, if you play into week 17, week 18, and you're at that bottom where they've clinched their seed and they are stuck there, Ty Johnson might be a name to know because they're not going to roll out Ray Davis. He's too valuable if Cook goes down, and Ty Johnson's just kind of sitting there. So it is a name to note for much later.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we're going to everybody's situation because I brought it up the second I saw it happen. Tight end, Britton Strange, 10% rostered. He is potentially your waiver wire tight end hero because, boy, with Ingram ending and without Kirk, he saw all the opportunity he needed. Whoa.
Oh, it's me. We lost Mike temporarily. He'll be back.
Okay. I was like, what just happened? But he had the opportunity, really made the most of it, saw 12 targets, or I think it was 10. He caught 10 or 11 and went for 80 yards. That's way too many. But was third behind only BTJ and Parker Washington, but saw significantly more targets than Parker. So seems like the potential winner moving forward with Ingram being on IR. So a lot of hope there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, you're back.
I am. I don't know
Thanks for coming.
if you guys can hear me okay. I might be experiencing internet problems, but
Technical difficulties.
yeah, we'll see how it goes. But it's because we're bringing up Stone Smart. You know, whenever you talk about Stone Smart,
the internet's trying to cut him off. That's what it is. It's like, oh no, he's going to talk about Stone Smart. We got to cut his power.
Not happening. I mean, tell us about him. Let's hear about Stone Smart. I'm curious. Uh-oh. Did we lose Mike again? Down goes Mike.
Maybe.
I was thinking of
make the argument for Stone Smart.
Frazier.
Go ahead, Jason. Make the argument for Stone Smart.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe.
See?
Better make your.
I'm going to get it out.
Fast.
Yeah, I'm just going to get it out. He had 6 targets, 5 catches, 50 yards. Justin Herbert's been targeting tight ends at about a 23% target share. Stone Smart had just under that, I think, about 19%. So I think he's going to be a solid play for this team that desperately needs pass catchers. So Stone Smart, fire him up.
Yeah, in any kind of, I mean, when you're seeing somebody get 6 targets and catch 5 of them and go for 50 yards,
position is valuable.
Yeah, you're kind of at that point that you just kind of go with it and hope for the best. Steve, you got any drops of knowledge you want to give us for tight end?
Let me see.
Besides your love of Britton Strange,
I mean, yeah, Britton Strange is a good one. I can't poke holes in any arguments for a tight end because it's so easy for you to be right. All they have to do is fall in the end zone, and you're basically guaranteed a top 10 performance on the week.
Okonkwo or insert Titan tight end?
No, definitely not that. Absolutely not that. I refuse to go with that. No, I think we're good. I got nothing. Nothing of note here. I think we're good.
All right. Well, I figured I'd at least check to make sure, you didn't have a Titan tight end that you're just really high on. So
no, not a Titan tight end. No.
All right, we'll move into defenses. And we're in a tough spot. So I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams, who just held the 49ers to 6 points. Wait, is that the other way? 12 points. Whoever won that game, it's a mess. But they're only 6.3% rostered. They face the Jets, who actually, again, Mike brought it up. Rodgers has looked good. They've done a lot of good things, but who knows? The game's very confusing. I don't understand it. Why are we in this? So,
what, did he have somebody on the list?
No, he did not. So, do you have anybody?
He did not have a defense listed. You already know. You already know what we're doing. We do it every single week, and the train's going to keep on rolling. Okay?
Still, even without Crosby.
Yeah. Still.
Oh,
Still. We're going with the Indianapolis Colts because it is anybody against the Titans. All
change.
day,
But
every
it's
day.
quarterback change. That doesn't worry
Every
you.
single week. Don't matter. It don't matter. I don't care.
Don't care at all. Okay.
Well, just
I mean, the Colts have looked
of course.
pretty good recently too. They put up a decent number this week,
They've
like
been fine.
6 or
They've been
7
alright.
points. That's where you want. But all right,
Jefferson touchdown. It's 10-0.
perfect. Sounds about
course.
right.
Let's just let it be over early.
Just run it out with Jones. Jeez,
Please
he's
do.
he's averaging 7 yards a carry. That's insane.
Yep. That they're bad against the run. I keep telling you that. But yeah, I mean,
They're bad against everything.
Colts got to be widely available, right? Have to be. They've been terrible all season.
Oh yeah, Colts are
only
very widely
15%
available.
rostered. Perfect. If you want, let's see. If you want to get ahead of it, I already.
Is it the Titans again or the Jags again?
Yeah, the Jags again. Going back
Like,
to the Jags.
I
Well,
kept.
you know it.
Yeah.
Every week. It's worked out so far. Why stop now? 15 weeks in, it's still working. So might as well keep it going. Just ride it out the rest of the way.
It has indeed worked. I'm barely keeping you in the top 12 this week so far. We'll see how tonight goes. Might knock you out.
It's all right. Fine with that. It depends on the scoring too, because I think in one of the leagues I've got like 20 points.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I'm really I'm upset with the Ravens because that's who I picked up and rolled with, and
they looked great for 3 quarters.
Yep. And then just gave. I'm like, oh, 20 points for.
And then they were like, well, this is over. We don't need this anymore.
Brutal. All right. Well, since Mike's been gone,
yep,
we are going to also let you go. Enjoy these games.
Sure. Between the two of them combined, there has to be one decent football game to watch, right? Like if you just flip back and forth between the channels, if you make your own red zone, it's got to be a decent viewing experience.
Yeah, maybe. I just can't. I don't know if I can believe in it.
Probably not.
And again, we're having is this week the first game of Saturday games?
This week, yes.
So we have Saturday games. Things to know.
There's 2 games this Saturday, and the 4 teams that play on Saturday are the 4 teams that play on Christmas. They just switch opponents.
So that's fun. And then it's, of course, very playoff has a lot of playoff implications with Steelers, Ravens, and Texans and Chiefs.
Correct.
So Chiefs are kind of locked in. Texans are on the bubble.
It's Steelers, Ravens, Texans, Chiefs, and then on Christmas, it's Texans, Ravens, Steelers, Chiefs.
Perfect.
Yeah.
On Netflix.
Yep.
So, okay. Well, in any case, it's going to be a weird one. But this is the point. We're at that point where all games become very interesting on the times based on playoff implications and everything else. So, things to keep in mind as you are setting your lineups. We will continue to help you set your lineups moving forward. But yeah, that in mind, go enjoy tonight's games. Sorry, we're back Monday, but hopefully next week, short week. Got Christmas coming up. Happy holidays. Way too early, but
yep.
Any case, remember, as always, to keep up the nonsense.